You're watching Filter Kaapi, the channel that brings you accurate, reliable and fact-based news from the world of education. I'm T S Sudhir. Now, when I was going through the national education policy that was cleared by the Union Cabinet yesterday, I was wondering if students who are subscribers to both Filter Kaapi as well as Study with Sudhir would really be interested, because much of it may seem to them as bureaucratic jargon and some may even label it as boring stuff. Which is why I must put it on record out here that I'm truly impressed by the number of Filter Kaapi and Study with Sudhir student subscribers who wrote to me over email, YouTube comments and also over Instagram DM asking me to explain how the policy will affect each one of them. So, my compliments, because step one to be a good citizen is to be an informed citizen. Information is key, information is power, and I'm glad that you're seeking out the right information. And in that sense, I would say that you have passed the test with flying colors. So let's now get down to business. I find it rather significant that this policy, which has been in the works for a very long time and replaces the education policy that was brought in by the late Rajiv Gandhi when he was Prime Minister in the mid-80s, it is being unveiled at a time when education is probably facing one of its most tough tests ever, right? In the light of the COVID-19 pandemic, the schools and colleges have been shut since mid-March, and at least till the 31st of August, according to the Ministry of Home Affairs guidelines issued last night, it will be closed till the 31st of August. Okay, and several exams have either been postponed or cancelled. But trust me, these are major changes. Huge impact it will have on the world of education if implemented in the right spirit, right? And it will drastically transform the education sector in India, and it concerns you students, it concerns your parents, it concerns the teachers, it concerns educators, and you should know what are the big changes that have been made both at the school level and also at the higher education level, because a majority of you would soon be going into college, university, so you should know what really awaits you in that world. Okay, so we'll break it down. There are 25 points which I want to talk about, and I would really urge you, for those of you interested, to stay on with me right till the end, and I will break it into several sections. The first are the three fundamental changes which have been made. The right to education has been extended to cover children between the age of 3 to 18 instead of 6 to 14, which was earlier the case, right? The National Education Commission will be headed by the Prime Minister of India. And the third point, the promise is that education for all by 2030, that is, the next decade is going to be extremely significant in that sense. But of course, time will tell whether it will indeed become a reality or whether it will remain a slogan only on paper. I hope it is not that case of being just a slogan on paper. Now let's come to specifics and start with the school education system. The 10+2 system, which was in vogue all these years, which means 10 years of schooling from class 1 to 10 and then 11th and 12th, which is also referred to as the intermediate or the junior colleges in some states, is now being replaced by a 5+3+3+4 curricular structure. But it has been broken down to make it a more targeted approach towards each one of these phases in a student's life. The last four essentially meaning class 9 to 12. So class 9 to 12, this means, will now be seen as an integrated learning process instead of class 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 being seen as two separate kind of units. Okay. NCERT is to develop curriculum for children up to 8 years of age. The National Education Policy, one of the major agendas is to reduce the school curriculum load. It may not directly impact this year, it will not, but from next year gradually there will be a reduction in the school curriculum load. Now, this is important. Courses will be designed across the class 1 to 12 in such a manner that there is no hard separation. There are no walls between arts and science. Otherwise, it will be like science students study a particular stream, arts different set of subjects. Now there will be no hard separation. Why? And I will tell you why. Because it's been found that even engineering graduates, when they go and work in companies, do not really have a sense of of say literature, of culture. So in that sense, it has been found by many companies, and many HR executives and leaders of human resources in different companies have told me in the past that they do not have a 360-degree perspective. It's not a holistic view. They know only about their limited engineering knowledge. So now the idea is to kind of integrate them with different other sensibilities. Similarly, an arts graduate, when he becomes something, say in the world of history or economics, etc., he will also be expected to have some understanding, say a basic fundamental understanding of mathematics, of physics, so that it is a more holistic way when they are in the job market, when they are following a particular profession. Also, there is not going to be any hard separation between curricular and extracurricular activities. You understand? Which means fields like yoga, music, sports, arts will not be seen as extracurricular but part of the entire curriculum. Point number 8, school students will have 10 bag-less days in a year. You may think that what is 10 days out of 365, but look at it this way, because what you will do during those 10 days is what is going to be more important, because they will be exposed, the students will be exposed to a vocation of their choice, right? So for instance, you may want to learn how the entire law process works, you know, all said and done, whether the CBSE or ICSE or the Karnataka CET yesterday, everything went to the High Court and the Supreme Court. So how does the entire legal process work? You could do an internship with a lawyer. You want to pick up organic farming, you could go and spend 10 days with a farmer. You want to learn about architecture and design, spend 10 days as some kind of internship with an architect. So that is going to be the idea of this 10 bagless days in a year. Point number 9, and this concerns the board exams. So pay attention. The board exams from academic year 2021 will be low stakes, based on knowledge application, and will basically test your core concepts. How much is your understanding and how much you are able to apply it to daily life and solving daily life problems. Okay, and it will not be the kind of a pressure cooker kind of an atmosphere that board exams over the years have become. This means basically that one exam will really going to kind of settle your entire future. That kind of an approach will no longer be there. Emphasis will not be on memorization and rote learning, but on understanding of concepts. This means basically that the board examination, from what I have understood, of 2022, February, March, April, for both class 10 and 12 will be quite different. Someone had messaged me saying that some news channel was saying that board exams have been scrapped for class 10 and 12. No, the board exams format will undergo a change from the academic year 2021. So students will have to adequately brace themselves for that. In fact, I would say that you should be quite excited about it. This is very important. But while board exams will be made easier in that sense, at least the pressure will be reduced to an extent. All students will take school exams in grade 3, grade 5 and grade 8. These won't be board exams, but this will be school examinations. And these examinations' basic agenda will be to test basic learning outcome and application of knowledge in real life situations. Now, staying with board news, point number 11, the board exam system will also undergo modification even beyond 2022, and I'll tell you how. Because the boards, the CBSE, the ICSE and the state boards will be encouraged to develop further viable models of board exams. It's not like what they do in academic year 2021 will be the final word. No. Till 2035, there will be a constant process of modification and improvement. So what they will do is that there will be annual / semester / modular board examinations, and they will offer all subjects starting with mathematics, okay, at two levels. One will be a difficult level for students who are able to crack more difficult mathematic problems, and one will be at a slightly less difficult or simpler level. And there will also be two kind of examinations. One could be entirely objective, one could be entirely descriptive, and the choice could well be left to the students on what they choose to take. So these are some of the reforms which are going to be introduced over the next 15 years. But yes, starting with 2021 academic year, these reforms will be gradually introduced into the board system format. So if you have any siblings, younger siblings, for all you know, the board exam that they may appear for will be very different from what you have appeared for so far. Now let's come to the progress card, the PTAs that your parents go for, and report card aata hai, arey, you have scored so less. No, the report card, the progress cards are also going to look very different. They will be based on school-based assessment and they will be redesigned. The progress card therefore now will be a holistic 360-degree multi-dimensional report that reflects in great detail the progress, and listen to this carefully, the uniqueness of each student. A student may be weak in mathematics and chemistry, but he may be brilliant in sports and arts. So the progress card will reflect the unique personality and character of that particular student. Okay, and also talk about the cognitive and psychomotor domains of each student. Every student is different, every student is precious, every child is special in his or her own way. The progress card will now reflect that, and it is going to be, the onus is going to be on the schools to be able to train the teachers to be able to pick up those nuances in each and every student. The progress card will also include self-assessment, what I think of myself, peer assessment, what my friends and classmates think of me, and teacher assessment. So this is something which is done in many companies, that how much of an increment you get at the end of the year. Your assessment also depends on your juniors, your seniors, your peers, yourself and your immediate boss. So 5 level. Here is going to be yourself, your classmates and the teacher. Okay, so in that sense, more holistic. Medium of instruction till class 5 and preferably till class 8 to be in the home language or your mother tongue. And this is important because this is something many eminent educationists will actually tell you, that mother tongue education in primary school is always seen as being more inclusive and also helps understanding of fundamental concepts much better if it is taught to them in the language that they are comfortable in, what they speak at home. Gradually, of course, they will pick up English, the second language, etc., etc. But the initial base, if it is taught to them in their mother tongue, be it Bengali or Tamil or Telugu or Marathi or Gujarati, that always helps. Every child to exit school with at least one skill that he is or she is very good at. Again, very important emphasis on skill based assessment and skill learning. Now we have got over with the school level. Let's now come to the college and university level, and for students of class 10, 11, 12 should listen to this carefully. Okay, the National Testing Agency, the NTA, which is the agency which conducts the examination for the JEE and the NEET among various other examinations, will also now conduct a high quality common aptitude test. Okay, now this will be a common college entrance examination twice a year, and I am told it will be on the lines of SAT, the Scholastic Assessment Test, and it will also offer specialized common subject exams in the sciences, humanities, languages, arts and vocational subjects. The IITs, and those of you who are looking to grab a seat in one of the premier IITs, will become more multidisciplinary with arts and humanities courses. Okay, so it will not be just engineering and engineering. Okay, it will be also much more inclusive with many other courses which will be offered. Now, for those who are going to seek admission in a couple of years, the undergraduate courses are going to undergo a massive transformation, much different from what many of us went through. A 4-year undergraduate program has been proposed, not 3-year. 3-year will remain, but there will be an option to take a 4-year undergraduate program, which will be a multidisciplinary bachelor's program. You could still have the bachelor's program of 3 years and a diploma course for 2 years and a vocational course for 1 year. So the students basically can choose what they wish to do. Okay. So also undergraduate courses will have multi-exit options, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. MPhil as a course is to be discontinued, and there will also be an integrated 5-year bachelor and master's program combined. For people who want to do BSc, MSc or BA, MA, they can do it together over a period of 5 years. An important aspect also is that if anyone wishes to drop out midterm, right, for whatever reasons, right, he or she can do so and complete the degree after a break. Okay, so in that sense, more flexibility has been incorporated into the system. This is going to be very important because many people drop out for, say, financial reasons. There could be a tragedy in the family. They could get married and take a break for different reasons. So they can actually come back to the same course after a break. That flexibility has now been introduced, which I think is a very positive step. Point number 18. Now the system is that colleges are affiliated to various universities, right, across India. Now by 2035, over the next 15 years, that will end. So individual colleges will be given graded autonomy to grant degrees to their students, and they no longer have to be affiliated to universities like, say, Delhi University or Mumbai University or Osmania University, etc. Individual colleges therefore will have an incentive to do better in order to look better. Okay, so they will be institutions in themselves. The plan is to add 3.5 crore new seats in higher education institutions. Huge number. Of course, this is going to be over a period of time, but definitely a huge number. The plan is also to have a single regulator for higher education, excluding engineering and medical, and transparency is going to be a key part of this. Now, for students who aspire to study abroad, the National Education Policy will encourage top-rated global universities to come to India. The 100 top global universities in the world will be encouraged to come to India and set shop here. So you no longer have to go to the US or to Europe or to Australia or Singapore to study. Many of those universities will actually come to India and set up base. Now a few quick points on the curriculum. There are plans to develop e-content in regional languages. This will be specifically important for people in the countryside, not those in the metros. The school curriculum will also integrate 21st century skills to make it more modern and encourage scientific temper and mathematical thinking. This is a point for teachers. Substandard teacher education institutions will be shut down, and the idea will be to focus on quality in teacher education, and I hope they also shut down a whole lot of fly-by-night operators and bad quality teaching shops. There will also be something called an academic bank of credit, suitably titled ABC. Now this would digitally store the academic credits earned from different recognized higher educational institutions, so that a degree from one institution can be awarded taking into account the credits earned so far by that particular student, even if it is from another institution. Finally, the HRD ministry will be called the Education Ministry, basically turning the clock back and going back to the 90s when it was referred to as the Education Ministry. Now we'll have to see the changes that the CBSE, the ICSE Council, the different state boards, the IITs, the universities, the NIOS, etc. make in order to align their curriculum in line with the new education policy. I hope this video has clarified matters to a large extent. I sincerely hope it has, and wish you all the best. It's going to be an exciting decade. That much I can say pretty surely after having gone through the entire National Education Policy document. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you.